small piece of string. Some others said it had something to do with water. But the name itself, Bobby's, in French, the word beau is like beautiful, and bees is like kissed. So it could be that some Frenchman hung that name on him and said, "Oh, you're a beautiful chief, and kissed by the Great Spirit," or something like that. And that's just my conclusion. That's nothing that I can't figure out. And anybody else that's ever researched this that I've talked with has never been able to figure out exactly what his name means or how he got that name, because it's unlike so many of the other Potawatomi vernacular. They spoke Algonquin, the Algonquin language. So. Any other questions?
Thanks, Dan. I really appreciate it. And your book is wonderful. I highly encourage people to buy that. And I know you're going to stay after to sign copies. One of my favorite stories in it is about Bobby's having a drink downtown. Can you share that one?
Having a drink downtown?
With somebody? Yeah.
Well, downtown then was the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
That's where the town started. And yeah, there was a story about, I think he was in Colvin's Grocery, it was called. And there were a couple of early settlers in there having a drink. And he wanted to have a drink with them, but he was upset because they wouldn't drink out of the same glass. So he got kind of upset about it. But the guy that owned the store said, "Well, we'll settle that." He says, "We'll all be friends and we'll all have a drink." So, in separate tumblers, separate glasses. So that's how we settled the problem. But and that, once again, I mean, you hear these legends about, oh, he did this and he did that, but it could have been mixed up with somebody else too. Like I say, the thing I found about studying the Indians is the information is really thin and flimsy. Some of it's actually, you have to rely on the legends that came down, and I've clearly stated in my book, these are tales and legends. Make of it what you will. But usually where there was smoke, there's fire, the old cliche. And so if you hear a legend about when Edith Ashe told me about her uncle finding these bones in a grave on his farm, who knows, it might not have been Winona, but it was certainly a young female Indian that had been buried there, and what happened to her remains afterwards, that's pretty much, I believe Edith Ashe, she told me that. She was a very honest woman. She's not anybody that you would have ever thought would spin a tale just for whatever reason.
Okay, thanks.
So I want to also, anybody here from Vanished Hillsdale, welcome. This is quite a site that Greg McLogan started, and I think he started with just a few of your friends, and it's grown to over 6,000, headed towards 7,000 members on the Vanished Hillsdale site. So that's terrific. I became an early member, probably only because I stumbled across the site one day and I saw somebody talking about something on there, and I thought, well, that's not right. So I had to be I guess I'm the VH cop.
We appreciate that, yeah. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, and we have refreshments, so help yourself, and if anybody wants to talk to me individually or buy a copy of my book, and some of the proceeds for my book actually go to help others' projects.
And Heather, would you like to say a few words?
Sure.
Thanks.
I was also going to add something to what Dan just said about the legends around here. I know a lot of you know Sally Fallon. She's in her 90s now, and she said that she has a great story of when her grandmother was brushing and braiding her hair, she would tell her the story of the Princess Winona. And as Dan pointed out, they didn't necessarily weren't royalty, we call her princess, but that was how they talked about Winona, the Indian princess. And so she was very excited when we talked about doing this project of bringing Winona alive and making her the beautiful woman that she had imagined as a child, hearing these stories when she was younger. And so I'll just talk about this piece just for a minute. I'm from California. I came here for the college. I graduated and stayed in the area. It's a beautiful area. I'm actually a biochem major, and I took a sculpting class my last semester, but really enjoyed it. The college asked me to do a piece for them, so one of the pieces up the hill I've done for them. And then I wasn't really doing anything for a while. I was raising kids and just busy with life in general. And I've always been fascinated by the legends of Winona. And I always imagined this beautiful Indian woman that was strong and bold, and I thought that would be neat. Somebody needs to do a Winona statue. That would be really neat. So I kept thinking about that. Somebody needs to do this. And then I finally finished a never-ending master's program. Any of you go back to school after you have a family, you know it's a certificate of endurance. And it was done, and I thought, well, now what am I going to do? And I thought, you know, I have a daughter at home right now that would be a great body model. She lives with me right now. I should probably just do a little one. So I started with this one, and I thought, well, I'll do something small. Actually, I started with this little tiny thing over here. I'll do something small and see if there's any interest. This is my daughter's sculpture of a little bug-eyed angel. This is a little sketch that I made, which looks kind of silly now, but at the time I thought, oh, it kind of gives you the idea. I started with this and I thought, let's see if there's any interest. So I did this one and there was a lot of interest. And people saying, oh, that would be great, that would be neat. And so I said, well, if you guys want to work on getting the funding together to get her cast, I'll donate my time to do it, because I think it would just be a neat project. So then I started working on this one. There's little tiny spiders in here. Started working on this one, and just to work out the ideas, like what is she wearing, what does she look like. I put the little feather in the side of her hair, and then, actually before I started this one, I contacted Dan. Said, let's talk about what would she realistically be wearing, all those types of details that you need to know before you start a piece. So he and I got together and we worked on putting together this sketch. And then these ladies of the Heritage Association, especially Connie Sexton, said, well, let's start a group and we'll have the Heritage Association and we'll start doing pieces that are historical to the area, so that once we do this piece, we may go on to do something else if there's enough interest in the area. So these ladies here, like Sandy and Emily and Diane and Karen, Connie, all got together and formed this association. And so I come and I sculpt, and I'm working on the big piece now, and they work with fundraising, and they make all these wonderful cookies and punch. And the idea behind it is we'd like to bring back the history of the area, and also to make Hillsdale kind of a destination place. We would like to take people on tours. We already have some beautiful murals uptown. And we'll have this down here in the park, and we may have pieces that are coming after that. And take people through kind of a history walk of the area, because it's a really neat and interesting history that we have here. And it'd be wonderful to bring some of that back alive. And especially this piece. It's such it's a tragic but interesting legend. And it's very unusual to have a history of a young woman at that time, especially an Indian woman. It was just not recorded or talked about. And she is a famous person for being an Indian woman in this area. We have the Winona school book, or the, what's it called? Up at the college yearbook. Yes,
College yearbook.
Yeah, and I think Mark has one of those from back when. And then we have Winona Lake that I actually happen to live on. And so I just wanted to kind of bring her back alive. And so this piece shows her, trying to get her before she was married, before tragedy in her life, when she would have been young and strong and kind of free-spirited. And I didn't want to do a monument piece, I just wanted to do a glimpse into our history. So she's not going to be up on a chunk of granite or anything like that. She's going to actually be just as high as she is right now on a slab of cement bolted down through her feet. And I just want to have her walking through the park. And there's kind of a glimpse back into our history. And I wanted her to look young, strong, bold. And what she's wearing is going to be the traditional straight skirt that the Indians wore at the time, with a piece of trade cloth flung around her. And as Dan pointed out, the Indians at the time really had more wealth than the pioneers did. So she would have been able to buy trade silver, trade cloth, and fine things that a lot of settlers did not have. So this is a piece of trade cloth flung around. She's going to be wearing a beaded belt of the Potawatomi design with the braiding on the side. I'm also going to put a little cross on her because there's a legend that she had been given a cross by her pioneer friend from a grandma that was in Somerset, England, and mailed 2 little crosses over here. And so Winona wore one, and then her little friend Betsy wore one.
Betsy.
Yeah, and actually, I don't know if any of you know June Roach, but June had plans of writing a children's story about Betsy and Winona in that friendship. And the feather in her hair, the Potawatomis were a little more subtle with their headdress. They didn't have the big Western style headdresses and things like that. But they did work feathers and things into their costume, but it wasn't quite as pronounced as some of the Western Indians. I also have, not to be overly controversial, but she is going to have a little dagger on the side. And because realistically, she would have had one. The Indian people at that time, even the women, would have had some sort of little weapon. So I'm going to put a dagger there. Her moccasins are going to be more simple with a little bit of beading. I'm not going to put the ceremonial moccasins on her that you'll see when people go to powwows and things, because when you go to a powwow, they're wearing all of the nice things that they have all at once. I wanted to get her more of an everyday type of look, just kind of walking through the forest, or actually being a park. Do you have any questions? I kind of went all around. Yes, kind of.
Tell them about, tell them about Deidre's book.
Okay, and I also have a friend, Deidre Berzer. She has her doctorate in women's studies in South American women, I believe. And she's putting together a book that will be the story of Winona, kind of like a children's history book. So it's not going to focus obviously on her end being a children's book, but it'll be more about how the Potawatomi lived, the relationship with Winona and her pioneer friend Betsy, kind of taking what June Roach's idea was, but putting it into a historical children's book. So it's like a few sentences on each page with beautiful illustrations, and then on the very back page it will have more of the history of the Potawatomi and the Indians of that time. So she's working on trying to get this book out at the same time that we're going to have the unveiling for this piece. Any other questions?
Well, thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Dan.